Hey there, Browns fans. If you guys want more videos on everything going on around the Cleveland Browns, then you have to subscribe. It's a meritocracy here at Chat Sports. The channels with the most subscribers get the most videos. You guys still got some catching up to do, although you're getting closer every single day. If you want more Browns videos, subscribe right now. You're watching the Browns Report by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey here with a look at Nick Chubb's ranking on the ESPN running backs list for 2021. Now, ESPN polled over 50 coaches and players and executives and blah, blah, blah for these rankings. Nick Chubb ended up being ranked number 4 on this list. He was as high as number 2 and ended up being as low as number 8. And as I've said many a time here at Chat Sports, I'm a big fan of Nick, in parentheses, Chubb. I'm very impressed by what he's able to do as a runner. Frankly, I think 4 might actually be a little bit low for where I view Nick Chubb. So first, let's just go over the top 10, right? Derrick Henry, number 1, not a surprise. Alvin Kamara, number 2, probably the number 1, back who offers the most on third downs, you know? Dalvin Cook is number 3. Nick Chubb is number 4. Christian McCaffrey slides down to number 5, given his injury problems last year. Saquon Barkley coming off the injury, number 6. Ezekiel Elliott, number 7. Aaron Jones, 8. Joe Mixon of the Bengals is 9. And Josh Jacobs checks in at number 10. I do think Nick Chubb is absolutely worthy of being in the conversation for the best back in the NFL. By the way, I'll also make note that Kareem Hunt was an honorable mention just outside the top 10. Last season, on less than 200 carries, Nick Chubb ran for over 1,000 yards, averaged a touchdown per game. His 5.6 yards per carry average, admittedly on a not the biggest sample size, but still is wildly impressive. What Nick Chubb was able to do last year, as we'll get into later on, I do think puts him inside the conversation for the best pure runner in all of the NFL. He was also really good in 2019. Not quite as efficient, but if you're averaging over 5 yards per carry on nearly 300 touches on the ground, that puts you inside the conversation of the best backs in the NFL. And I had said after last season that I thought Nick Chubb was going to be in the conversation this year for best back in the NFL. And I think despite the injury, I was mostly right. So I want you guys right now to rank Nick Chubb among NFL running backs. Now, Titans fans and Saints fans and Vikings and Panthers and Cowboys fans all get mad when you don't put their back at number 1. But you're Browns fans, so you can put him at number 1 if you want to. But let me know where you think Nick Chubb ranks among all the backs in the NFL in the comments section. I think the one big reason why, at least nationally, Nick Chubb isn't viewed in the same light as a Derrick Henry or an Alvin Kamara or, for some, a Christian McCaffrey is the receiving aspect. 18 targets, just 16 catches last year. Kareem Hunt was much more impactful from that perspective in terms of what he was able to do as a pass catcher. But Nick Chubb is able to, just hasn't been utilized that much because the Browns don't overload Nick Chubb in the same way Tennessee has overloaded Derrick Henry. And I thought this quote from an NFC executive, I like it a lot. I think there's a lot of truth here. Quote on Nick Chubb, best pure runner in football. I'd take him over Henry because he's a little more explosive. Now, I think that quote is probably a bit controversial amongst the NFL, and Henry, of course, was rated above Chubb on this ESPN list, but it's not all wrong. I think Nick Chubb's blend of vision and power and ability to break tackles, he's awesome in that area, and balance and speed and agility is certainly up there. So whether you rank Chubb at 1, 2, 3, 4, or if you're weird and put him outside the top 5, there's an argument there. He is one of, if not the best backs in all of the NFL. All right, Browns fans, you got over the 1,000 subscriber mark. We have YouTube channels here at Chat Sports for every single AFC North team. I want the Browns to catch up to the Steelers. They've pulled away. The Browns were ahead of Pittsburgh for a long time here, and then the Steelers caught up and have now surpassed them. Over 1,000 more subscribers. So, Browns fans, show up. If you want more videos, if you want to catch the Steelers, subscribe, and you know what? Tell a friend while you're at it. Let's talk Austin Hooper, David Njoku, and whether or not there is a potential tight end 1 starting position battle for the Browns in camp. And I'm a bit surprised this came up. So SB Nation said, the Browns SB Nation, Dogs by Nature, was like, hey, there might be a battle here. And I'm not sure I agree. Austin Hooper, he played the most snaps at tight end for Cleveland last year. He also got paid last offseason. Like, the investment-wise, he's tight end 1. David Njoku, from a draft capital standpoint, was the most invested, but he's in the last year of his deal. I don't think he gets traded, despite what some of the national media might be telling you, because, well, the Browns want to use multiple tight ends. Njoku's always flashed throughout his NFL career. The upside remains. He is valuable to the organization. I'm not sure, though, that he's able to surpass Austin Hooper as tight end 1 for this team. There's also, of course, the presence of Harrison Bryant, who we will discuss, and how he fits into what in reality is one of the best tight end rooms in the NFL. You've even got Steven Carlson, amongst others, on the roster right now. Purely from a 2020 standpoint, regular season, Austin Hooper was better. Now, I don't think Hooper's production was what the Browns were hoping for, even on a team that does not throw it as much as, the Falcons did in Austin Hooper's, best years with Atlanta. Yes, he had more drops, but on a much higher volume of targets and receptions. I like Njoku, but I think Hooper's still tight end 1 for this team. I don't think you're going to get the level of production out of Hooper that the Falcons saw in 2019. I just don't know, between other tight ends in Njoku and Bryant, and even factoring in the usage for Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry and maybe Rashad Higgins, DPJ, whatever, and Kareem Hunt too. Thank you, producer Jeremy. And the pure volume of which the Browns are going to throw it, if you're going to be able to approach 75 catches for Austin Hooper. I think 50 or 60 is probably closer to the max number, unless the Browns are bad and got to throw it more, which I don't think they're going to be. Now, in Njoku's best season, that was 2018, when he was actually healthy for all 16 games. 56 grabs, under 700 yards, 4 scores. Not bad. Starting caliber tight end production. But I think Hooper brings them a little bit more from the blocking standpoint, and in the end, I think that's what the Browns are searching for the most at tight end. Now, this article focused on Njoku and Hooper. It's also worth mentioning Harrison Bryant exists, and the FAU product did flash a bit last year. In fact, put up better production, raw numbers production, than David Njoku did. I think that all 3 players will play key roles for this team. The Browns will use enough multiple tight end sets to justify keeping Njoku at his contract. So what I want you guys to do right now to wrap up this video is pick a tight end. Who you got? Who do you think will be tight end 1? Type N for David Njoku, or if you're like me, type in H for Austin Hooper.